All right, welcome everyone to our Monday movement series, Pilates in the chair. The only thing that you'll need for today is a chair, so make sure that you are comfortable seated in yours. So my name is Rhea. If you haven't joined us yet, we have all different types of classes that are recorded and then added to YouTube as our library grows. So once you're in a comfortable seated position, make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart, and you also have a 90-degree bend at your knees, so your feet aren't up underneath of you, they're not out in front of you, they're right under the knees. About hip distance apart is going to be like as if those legs just shot right out of the hips and then went down to the ground. Okay, so first things first, hands onto the knees. We're going to start to warm up the body, the spine. So as you inhale, pull the heart forward and lift the gaze and the heart to the ceiling. As you exhale, press down into your thighs and curl the spine backwards. So like somebody's trying to touch you in the belly and you're like, no, don't touch me. Then inhale, pull the chest forward and up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, look down towards your belly button. Repeat one more time. Inhale, pulling the heart forward, shoulders back and down, lift the gaze, pull the shoulders back, and then exhale, round. Now the chin towards the chest, look towards your belly button. All right, so now stack the spine up tall. Your left hand goes down to the chair, or you can even just keep it on your lap. If you need to scooch to your right so that your hand can be placed on the chair if you're taking that option. Raise your right arm up like you have a question. And it's a nice little side bend, exhaling. 3, then inhaling back up. Exhale up and over for 2. Inhale, return back up. Exhale, you're in between 2 panes of glass, one on the front, one on the back side of the body, so don't smear it. Inhale, back up. Your right hand goes down. I'm going to scooch myself over to the left so my hand has a place there on the chair. Left arm raises like you have a question. This is your inhale. As you exhale, go up and over. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. One more time. And as you finish, exhaling over, then inhaling back up. Place both hands back down by your side. Make sure you're sitting on the middle of your chair again. And your right hand comes over to the left knee. Your left hand grabs onto, if you have a back of the chair behind you. So it looks like this. You're holding onto that back of the chair. Otherwise, just grab underneath of your chair. So you're already starting to turn yourself towards the left. Now we want to make sure that you're not leaning yourself forward as you're turning left or leaning yourself back as you're turning. So stay right above your hips, pressing into your right hand, the one that's on your knee, and pulling with the hand that's on the chair. So this oppositional push-pull as we breathe here for 2 more breaths in and out. Notice how the inhalation feels constricted. And breathe out. Now as you inhale, lift your spine, or lift and look forward, and exhale, rotate over to the right side. Your left hand is on your knee now, and your right hand is back behind you. So stay in this twist. Maybe each time you exhale, you can twist a little deeper. Every time you inhale, lifting a little taller. One more inhale. And final exhale. Good. All right, now inhale to turn yourself back towards center. Still keeping your feet onto the ground there. With your hands down by your side, just give them a nice little wobble there. And if like shaking the hands too quickly, like makes it feel uncomfortable in the body, just maybe do one arm, and you could like gently roll the wrist around a couple times if you needed to, or roll. You don't have to shake the arms out, just roll the wrists around. We're just getting some blood flow, some of the lymph to move through the body. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing with the arms up towards the ceiling, like a wacky, wavy, inflatable thing. I don't know, what are they called? You know, outside of the used car sales lots. And then bring those arms back down by your side. Okay, now lifting the shoulders up, pulling them back, lowering them down as if your fingertips are gonna touch the ground. Lift up, pull back, and release down. One more time to lift up, back, and release down. Now lift up, rolling the shoulders forward and lowering them down. to pull back. Feel those shoulder blades pinching towards one another. Up and forward to bring them down. Now, like there's a pencil or maybe like a slot for your credit card to slide right between your shoulder blades. Keep it as you lift those shoulders up, and then feel them spread apart as you roll forward and back down. Now, make sure that you feel your hips, your heart, and your head all in alignment with each other. Because sometimes I'm definitely one of them. You'll notice if you're sitting in front of the bones underneath of your butt, your sits bones, or behind the bones. So we want to sit right on top of them as if they were our feet. So like sit on or stand on your sits bones. Okay. Then everything else stacks up on top of that. Now, if during this class you ever get tired, you can obviously scooch back or lean back against your chair, but holding yourself upright is going to activate more of the core. Okay, so hands onto the lap there. Stay upright as you look left to right 3 times each. Try exhaling as you twist. 2, 2. Keeping those arms and shoulders from moving. Nothing else moves other than the neck. Last one. All right, now with your hands sliding down the legs, we want to make sure that you're not just tipping your body forward, but imagine you're peeling your head away from a wall, your shoulders away from a wall behind you, slowly rolling your body down away from the wall that's behind you instead of just tipping forward into it. Okay, so you are trying to keep like the top part of your pants connected to the wall behind you. And you might go down to maybe like front of the knees or mid shin, or maybe you're all the way down to your ankles, but then roll and stack yourself up even taller than where you were before. 3 of those. So this is your inhale once you get to the top. Exhale. It might take you more than one exhale to find your depth. So pause if you have to take an inhale, and then continue your journey down. Take an inhale at the bottom. And then as you exhale, press into the feet, stack the spine up tall, slide the hands up the legs, and lift head over hips. One more time, nod chin to chest, reaching forward and down, drawing your abs, your core up and in. Again, like somebody's trying to touch you in the belly and you're like, no, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And then rolling to stack the spine back up tall again. All right, now once you're there, okay, let's start to warm up the legs here. So the more you press into your thighs, the more weight you're giving yourself, the more resistance or the more strength you can build for yourself. No hands, there's still work that can be done. So you choose accordingly. Lift your heels up and down 12 times. And as you're lifting, especially if your hands are here, your body's going to be doing like a little bit of a rock forward and back movement. So try to keep like everything almost like a picture. And the picture is just gently moving back and forth. It's not a movie, it's a picture. Everything is stable, strong, and stays together. And the only thing that's moving is actually just your ankles. 6 more. Breathing normal here. 5. Just in through the nose, out through the nose as we mobilize through our joints. For 4. Think of pulling your shoelaces forward as those heels lift. For 3, 2, and last one. Okay, so now keep your feet on the ground, but your hands by your side. And for some of us, we might have to walk your feet further out in front of you just to get that range of lifting your toes off. So if your feet are under the knees and you're like, that's nothing's happening, then just walk your feet out in front of you just a smidge, and then continue 10 more times, 12 total, of not just pulling your toes up, but trying to get the whole like front part of your foot up. Your heels are the only thing that stay on the ground. For 8, 7. And so we have a muscle right in the front. It's not the shin, but it is attached to your shin, which is technically 2 bones of your shin or your lower leg. And that's called your tibialis anterior. The muscle is called the tibialis anterior, tibant. Okay. And if this muscle is not strong enough, then what happens, and we can't pick up our foot to step forward. So we start to trip over our own feet. So tib anterior helps us to get that clearance off of the ground to then place your foot out in front of you again. I lost count. I'm sorry. Let's do 3 more. It's always 2 or 3 more. Last 2. It's hard to educate and to coach at the same time. Last one. I like to do both. All right. So then with those legs, you're going to start to walk or step, maybe even slide. So if you can't get that leg up and out, just slide it out and in. We're going to stay on the right leg. So if you started on your left, that's okay. But 6 each way. This is just a preparatory move. We will be doing more of this in class, but especially if you're one of those people, 3 more. I'm going to like kind of give us some interim counts as we go. 2 more. But especially if you're somebody who sits a lot, like your hips can get very tight, very weak. Okay, so this can help to not just strengthen the hips, your hip flexors, but also help open them up. So now place that foot flat, 6 more on the other side. Open up if you can, lift it, and then close it back in. Imagine there is something off to your left or to your right side, whichever leg you're working on, and you're trying to step over like an imaginary hurdle. 3 more. And you're doing all of this without moving your torso or having to be like, ugh, just to get that leg over. Ugh. Okay, so if you need to, place the hands down onto the chair and make sure that everything else stays stable, strong, and still. Last and final one. Bring that leg back in, okay, and then hands back onto the knees. Now, this is going to be helpful to remember, and I'll always remind you, of course, when we come into some more of these movements. But as a reminder, we want to strengthen and hold strongly through the core as we're working up to some of these more challenging moves. So by pressing your hands firmly into your thighs, not to like bend or straighten your arms, but press down as if your hands are going to go straight through the legs to your hips. So the more you press down, the more you're going to start to feel back arm, maybe the space under and behind your armpit. And those muscles also might start to feel like there's something lighting up and wrapping around your torso, your waistline. And you can kind of feel that coming around from the other side too, if you've got both hands pressing. Okay, so we're holding here for about 10 more seconds, 30 seconds total, keeping your shoulders down away from the ears, arms stay straight, and connecting to the back of your body. All right, so now relax, maybe wiggle out those arms if you need to. And then with your arms out in front of you, we have 2 different positions. Well, 3 if you want to really challenge yourself. So this is middle of the road here, genie arms. If you're like, this is too much, then go hands across the chest. If you're like, this is not enough, then your hands will go behind your head, okay? So I'm gonna take middle of the road option here. Remember, keep your torso upright, hips hard and head in alignment as you twist to one side, exhale. Inhale, bring it back through center, and then exhale, rotate in the other direction. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Like you're fogging up a mirror or getting ready to clean your glasses or some snow goggles since it is wintertime. 1 more to the first side. Mine was left. And then 1 more to the other side. Awesome. Okay, so notice we didn't do that with the help of like hands on chair or leg. So if, of course, like even if this is too hard or too challenging, you have the option of pressing into something to turn you, but we don't want to ever push ourselves past the edge of something. Okay, and then you could go to the opposite direction. All right, from here, hands either behind the head. This is our middle ground now. Okay, easy is going to be across the chest. Super hard challenging, arms out wide, like a letter T, okay? So that just the further that your arms are away from the body on this, like the longer the lever, the heavier it's gonna feel. So like a cartwheel, we're going down to one side, I'm going left as your right arm lifts up, and your hips stay anchored onto the chair. And then lift back up, exhale. Inhale, find the length on the side of the body you're turning or I guess moving away from, and then exhale to pull yourself back up. 2 more each way. You could put the hand onto the chair to support yourself if holding out here in space is too much. Inhale down. Exhale up. 1 more time each way, just like a cartwheel. Exhale up. So if I'm going right, my left butt cheek stays on the chair, and then exhale, bring it back up. All right, hands come down. Cat and cow through the spine a couple more times, if you remember how that was. So we inhale to pull the heart up, bring the gaze to lift. And then exhale, bring the gaze down, curl the spine backwards. And you'll repeat just a couple more times, kind of feeling out, or maybe like doing your own little freestyle move, kind of wiggling around into the chair in one direction and the other direction. All right, now let's think about the knees. So especially if like we are in a seated position for a majority of the day, and you almost like dread the idea of getting out of your chair because you're always like, oh my gosh, my knees are gonna hurt, my legs are gonna hurt. So before you even anticipate getting up out of your chair, bringing movement to the joint is going to be helpful, and it's going to decrease, as you do it over time, the amount of pain that is felt. So just from the side, as a view there, you're just gonna straighten one leg, and we're gonna stay on that one leg for 8. So leg extensions for 7. And so if some of us can't like lift the leg all the way out in front of us, like sometimes we're a little bit more challenged on one side. So here's 4 for 4 more. What you can do is kind of like grab under the leg, maybe pull it up towards you and try straightening it from there. It's going to be harder to straighten it because it is like closer towards the body. So like that straightening of the leg is more challenging, but you're then focusing on lengthening the hamstrings. Last 2. And final 1. To the other side for 8. Straightening one leg up and out as if there was like a little string that's pulling that foot up. And this is literally how the knee, honestly, how any of our joints in the body work, is like a pulley system, a lever. So your quads, which are at the top of your thigh, you can put your hand there and feel those muscles working for you. So those quads will literally like pull on the shin bone, which is where they attach to. And that lever of pulling on the shin bone is what lifts the leg up. 2 more times. And last time. All right, so now from there, straighten the left leg out in front of you. So your toes are off of the ground. I'm just gonna turn this side again so you can see that. And you might have to scooch a little closer towards the front edge of your chair, because especially if you're pretty far back, you're not gonna get a straight leg because there's a chair in the way. So scoot yourself forward, find your hips, heart, and head into alignment. You could even press your hands into the chair, not down, but like back into the chair to help you sit upright. Press really super heavy into your right foot and then engage or feel that engagement through the core. You could even press down onto your right thigh or knee to feel that engagement. And we're gonna lift that left leg up and lower down. Exhale on the lift. Inhale, slowly lower. 6 more. For 5. And so that's very helpful if like you're pressing down with your hands or even back with your hands. So there's this oppositional push-pull. You pull your leg up as your hands either press down or back. Last 2. And 1. Now lower that leg down and switch to the other side. So I'm gonna leave this leg out in front, toes up towards the ceiling, press super heavy into the leg or into the foot, and then maybe into the leg. If you took that option on one side, do the same on the other side. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. For 7. 6. Last 5. So your leg muscles, the strongest group of muscles that you have in your body, like total. We have our glutes, which are actually like the most powerful muscles in our body. Last 3, okay, but they're also the laziest. Last 2, it takes a lot to turn them on, for them to be like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Last 1. Okay, so let's bring your feet together now. So soles of the feet are still pressing into the ground, but your feet are together and your knees are still hip distance apart. So there's like this little skinny diamond shape that you've made through your legs. Now lean forward slightly and press your hands to the outside of your thighs or knees. And then it's not going to look like anything's happening on my end, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing out into my hands as hard as I can for about 30 seconds here. If you can't make it to 30, try 15. Okay, if you can't make it to 15, try 10 or 5. I already got 20 seconds left, so think of also pressing down into the ground with your feet, maybe even like gripping with your toes into the ground. So like everything, even all of those 10 little piggies are pressing into the earth here. Okay, so if I were to let go of the hands, like my knees would like fly open. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Now step your feet back to hip distance apart and place your hands to the inside of your thighs. Now you want to make sure the movement, there is no movement. It's just an isolated contraction. So your hands are pressing out as your thighs are pushing in. Now, if you can't quite, or if you have any shoulder issues or troubles here, you can also lean forward a little bit more and put one of your arms, like so from hand to elbow, on the inside of both legs. And that honestly feels more stable because then you're not like having to push with like one hand or both hands or feel like one is doing more than the other. All right, I got 10 seconds left. I do a good job of talking. Keep breathing. Last 3, 2, and 1. Relax. All right, wiggle those legs side to side. So if any time during this class, like you just need to take a break, sometimes just wobbling those legs side to side, windshield wipering them side to side, can help to bring in some blood flow, get the lymph to clear out. And again, that heaviness feeling of your legs that sometimes happens from lack of movement, like especially like we were just holding a position, just wiggling it out can just make it feel instantly better. All right, marches. Feet are back to hip distance apart. We're going to start to add on to movements now. So not just isolating the legs, but now starting to think about and move with the core and the upper torso. Okay, so first, hands just either press or hold underneath of the chair. Okay, and start to march one leg up, lower it back down. We're going to alternate. March the other leg up and lower back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. We got 3 more each side, or 10 total, 5 each side. Last 2. Final 1. And 1. 5 more, but now genie arms or hands in front of the chest. Remember, you could cross the arms, okay, or hold them genie arms. And so now that we've just taken the hands away, can you make sure on these last 3 that you're not just kind of like leaning just to get that leg up or compensating just to get that leg up? Like it takes work to stay upright. 1 more each way. It also takes work to just hold your arms where they are. All right, we keep going, but now you rotate towards the leg that's lifting. Lower it back down, turn center. Exhale, twist lift. Inhale, back down. Exhale, twist lift. Inhale, back down. So this is where you'll probably feel this in the hip crease, but also on those quads. Remember those muscles on the top of your legs? Okay. Last 2 each side. And 1 more each way. Okay, final little set here. So your hands will come now behind your ears, okay? Either your fingertips or you can interlace them behind your head. We want to make sure though that you're not just yanking the head into the movement, but that you are turning from the rib cage instead of just like pulling yourself into the position. So as you lift the one leg, we're not going down towards it. You're just twisting, 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 and then lowering it back down as you look forward. Exhale, turn your heart to the left or right as your elbows go from front to back. Lower back down. 4 more each way. Resist the urge to lean back away from the knee. You want to stay upright. Sometimes I see people where they lift a leg and they're just kind of leaning back away from it. And they're like, I'm staying upright because my knee's not touching my elbow, but they're leaning away from it. Yeah, so if you stay upright and just focus on the twist, then you're going to get more out of it. You're going to get more bang for your buck. 1 more each way. And final 1. All right, go ahead and wiggle out those arms. Okay, windshield wiper those legs, or you could also open and close them. Okay. Now you're going to step your feet wider than hip distance apart. So remember, like when we lifted our leg up and out, step it out to that width. Okay, so you just stepped over your hurdles and your feet are wide. So this is working that internal rotation. So leave the foot where it is. Your knee comes inward and then back out. We're gonna stay on just the one side. So this is my right leg going in for 7 more and then out again. Okay. Remember when I was growing up, this was a dance move called the stanky leg. Okay, so we're just slow motion stanky legging. Who comes up with these names? I have no idea. Or these dance moves? I mean, I guess TikTok, but who's the genius behind them? Who knows? Who cares either? Last 3. Inhaling to open, finding that expansion, exhaling to close, like you're closing a door. 2. And final 1. All right, so now leave that knee down and you're halfway there. So all you're gonna do is continue turning yourself to the left. So basically just your left butt cheek. And sorry, if you were working on the left side, you go to the right. So my right knee, the one that I was just moving, is underneath of me. If you have a back of your chair, put that left arm onto it so you have something to like hold on to. If not, hold underneath of the chair. But with that right foot, this is going to help to strengthen those hamstrings. I want you to lean forward a bit. You can totally place your right hand onto your left thigh for support, or don't. That's going to be much harder. So from here, I want you to pull your right foot to your butt and then lower it back down gently and controlled. Pull it to your butt 7 more times and then slow and controlled. Do not let it drop. You are in control the entire time. Imagine there was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds on that heel or that ankle, like an ankle weight that's wrapped around your leg. Woo, and you got to pull it and then slowly control it back down for 4. Now we want to make sure that your knee doesn't come forward as you lift that leg. It stays right under the hip. Just the knee bends for 3. Just the foot lifts for 2. And final 1. So put the foot down, lift your body up, turn yourself all the way center and you're back to where we started, ready for your internal rotation on the left side or the other side. Okay, so my left goes in and out for 8. Oh, getting that rotation. And this side doesn't feel as tight for me, so just be aware of that. One side may feel much, much, much different, or kind of you don't notice a difference, but maybe on another move you will. But that's interesting. So like get curious about why, okay, like why is my right leg, my right hip more tight than my left side? 4 more. And maybe that's your push-off leg. Like when you get out of a chair, do you push off of your right leg to take a step forward? Do you lift your right leg up onto the stairs if you're going upstairs to pull yourself upright? Last 2. Now keep that knee turned down. Last 1. You're halfway there to continue turning your body to the right. And it looks like we're in a lunge position. The chair is just supporting you. Wiggle or scoot yourself around if you need to, but just your right cheek and thigh are onto the chair, right hand to the back. Lean forward a bit. Now make sure that the knee doesn't come forward to lift the foot, but instead it stays behind you to pull that foot and then to reverse it back down. 7 more. For 6, pulling, holding, and then releasing back down. For 5. So when we control the timing of the movement, so you're not just like going through the motion, you're like, I got this, here's 10, and then I'm done. No, like hold it at the top for a second and then slowly control it back down. Pull, hold strong, and then 3 more times to lower back to the ground. Last 2. And final 1. Release it back down. Keep the foot to the ground. Turn your body to the left. You're in that wide stance again. Now put your hands to the inside of your, or like palms on top, fingertips to the inside of your thighs, and then just lean forward and you're trying to push your legs behind you. This is a really big inner thigh stretch. So again, if you are seated, or especially if you cross your legs when you're seated, what that does is it just tightens up those adductors or your inner thigh muscles, your groin muscles. So helping to open up the hips is going to be beneficial for so many reasons, not just blood flow, but also for mobility. All right, so now stack the spine up tall. This is a dynamic movement for stretching. So inhaling up each time. As you exhale with your left hand, you're going to push just the left hand so that you can turn to the right. Inhale back up. Exhale, turn to the left as you push with your right. A lot like Simon says. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, push with your left, turn right. 2 more each way. And inhale up. Exhale to the left. Gentle movements are so great for the nervous system too. Last one, right? Because if we're just like muscling through or trying to power through a workout or any set of exercises, especially if they're new to the body, go ahead and lift up and just windshield wiper those legs again, side to side. Keep them wide though. So just like alternating with that internal rotation. So if you're doing this and you're just like, just get it over with, like your body's gonna be like, whoa, what's going on? It's gonna tighten up. It's gonna get like crampy and like sometimes just stuck in position. So now slide those legs back together again, feet together, knees together this time. And remember that even when you're strengthening the body and moving it, going slow and being in control of it instead of just like lifting the leg up and then letting it drop is going to be beneficial in the long run overall. Okay, so holding those legs together as if you're like smushing, pushing them in. There's nothing that's going to rip them apart. I want you to lean your body back. You could reach your arms forward for a counterbalance and try to tap the back of your chair if you have one. Just lean back to the point of like you can return. Okay, not to the point of no return. Come back up. So it's an inhale to lift up, up, up as you lean back. And then an exhale to bring yourself forward. So by holding those legs together, you have 6 more. By holding that strong connection of your legs together, this works, obviously, your inner thighs. Hopefully you feel that in here, like the inseam line of your pants is getting zipped up together. But those inner thighs, last 5, helps and connects up into the core. So you might not feel it. You might just feel like, I feel inner thighs, I feel core. But the attachment points of your deep core and your inner thighs connect to the same exact bones. 3 more times. So like the connecting points, even if the fibers of the muscles do not cross paths, you can still help yourself out and be efficient with your movement. Last one. And then exhale back up. Now place your hands behind you onto the chair. And so this is where, like, if you scooch all the way to the front, you'll have more room for your hands behind you. Okay. If you scooch back, then you'll have to like lean your body back. Again, this is all dependent on like what kind of chair you're using. Okay. You could also, if you have maybe like a curved chair, you could like put your elbows on the back of your chair and hold yourself there that way. All right, anyways, so it's a chest opener. So make sure you're not just dumping down into it, but you're opening the chest up to the ceiling, keeping and holding your feet together, legs together. Lift one leg up, inhale down. Exhale the other leg up, inhale down. Now, holding your hands behind you is technically level 1. So if you'd like to take it further, it's going to take a little bit of brain power, a little bit of thought process. We're going to do one more without moving the hands. So one more on that left side. And then if you want to take the option, just challenge yourself, try it. Reach the left arm forward, right leg lifts. Put the left hand down, right foot down, and reach the right arm forward as the left leg lifts. So you could go like around town to get that arm up, okay? Or you could just go straight down and straight up. All right, so that was level 2. Let's try level 1. Reach both, or level 1, we're going backwards. Level 3, reach both arms out in front of you, and then pull that right leg up between the hands, between the arms if you can. Put the arms down on either side of that leg, and then lift the arms, lower the leg. Exhale, arms down, leg up. Inhale, exhale. Imagine your hands and your leg are moving through like super thick maple syrup or honey. So it's not just like your arms are just dropping as your leg lifts, but you are actively like pushing down to lift up, lowering to lift up. One more time each side. Beautiful. Place those hands back onto the knees. Separate to about hip distance apart and cat and cow through that spine. You could even with your cat and cows like open the legs. And as you cat the spine, close the legs. So there's this opening, as you expand the chest, closing off the front of the hips as you close off the front of your body. One more time of each. Open, open. Exhale, close and curl. All right. Now, feet are hip distance apart. Okay. And then just start to hold and squeeze your knees together for 3, 2, 1, and then relax. So sort of like little kids, and they're like, but I have to go to the bathroom now. It's like, can you hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then release it? Okay. So trying to hold that strong connection of the inner thighs. And as you're holding that, go ahead and release. Sorry, don't want you to hold it for too long. But as you're holding that, feel a sort of like line of pull or energy drawing up inside of you. And that's your powerhouse. So that's like the pelvic floor lifting, the transverse abdominis wrapping. So inhale to open. Let's try that 4 more times. As you exhale and close, imagine there's a corset wrapping around your belly. And that corset is pulling that energy up and in, up and in. Release. Last 3. Maybe as you close the legs together on these last 2, can you lift yourself taller, taller, taller? Now we are going to hold the legs together after this last one. Keep your feet where they are, and with your hands, reach forward. As you inhale, pull them behind your hips and look to the right, look to the left. And then as you exhale, release the legs, reach the arms forward. Okay. Exhale, close the legs, move the arms back. I think I said exhale. I meant inhale, 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 look right, look left. And then exhale, release, look forward, reach forward. Inhale, pull back, hold those legs together, look right, look left, and then exhale, release forward. So we have 3 more. This time we're going to start to the left on these next 3 and look right. So hold the knees together, hold the arms back, look left, look right, and then exhale, release forward, arms forward. 2 more times. Squeeze those knees together, look to the left, keep reaching those fingertips down to the ground, shoulders away from your ears, and then relax, release forward. Last time, hold together, pull the arms back, inhale, look left and right, and then exhale, release forward. Hands to the knees again, so you can press down and find that connection again, back of the arms, back of the body, wrapping around the waistline as you're pressing and holding for 20 more seconds. Now, this is like the air quote boring part, but this is how, like, can you hold this position, like hold this engagement for 3 more seconds, 2, 1, and then just take the hands away. Can you still hold and feel that engagement happening through the core? And hopefully the answer is yes, because if you don't feel it yet, just press heavier into the hands. You might even have to like lean forward a bit and like just like push down and lift the chest forward. Now, wherever you're at, both hands are still pressing into the thigh. Lift one arm out in front of you and then put it back down into that thigh. Okay, lift the other arm, so alternating. So as we hold strong through the core, the body is not going to move. If we were not holding strong through the core, like this sort of tilt or shift would be happening. You'd just be like a wet noodle. Okay, exhale as you lift. And especially if you have the range to do so, you might just raise the arm up like you have a question and lower back down. Yeah, working through that shoulder mobility. Now, sometimes what happens is, especially when we start doing like unilateral work and like one arm, you're thinking about, well, how high can I lift this one arm? Don't forget about the arm that's pressing. I'm going to feel it behind and behind and underneath of the armpit. I guess it's kind of between your arm and your back. Like that's that between part that I want you to feel. 1 more, each side. Beautiful. Okay. So roll out those shoulders a couple times. Place your hands back into the position. Now we're going to do alternating, and it's going to feel a little wonky because the leg that you're going to keep your hand onto is also going to heel lift. Okay, so let's just start first with that. Alternating heel lifts. Okay, your hands are what's giving you a little bit of resistance, a little bit of pressure. All right. Now make sure you didn't just lose your connection to your core. Keep it engaged, keep it wrapped, and keep keep the stability, because that's really what we're going for, is the stability around your spine. And it's like you're wrapping all of your organs up with like saran wrap. Just make sure they're not going to fall out from underneath of you. All right, last one each side. Okay, so this same pattern is going to stay. So I'm going to start with my left heel lifting, pressing super heavy into my left hand as my right arm lifts. Lower the hand in the heel, lift right heel, lift left arm. 5 of each, 4 more. Left heel, right arm. Lower down, right heel, left arm. And lower down. Because of that heel lift, my body is kind of just gently rocking back and forth. And I'm allowing it to happen without compromising the stability around my spine. So the core is staying turned on the entire time. I'm breathing normal. I can move with the breath. Okay, so maybe it's an inhale to lift, last 2. Exhale to lower. Maybe it's just an exhale to lift. So just breathe. As long as you are not holding the breath. You can think of like a ballerina at the bar, like maybe her arm is lifting up into that little half circle. Last one. Great. All right. So now slide those hands down, take that curled spine. Remember to stay attached to the wall behind you with that upper part of your pants. Okay, so like where your waistband line of your pants is still attached to the imaginary wall behind you. Now rolling yourself back up, stack the spine up tall. And now this time with your hands behind you. So either grab the chair, the back of the chair behind you, or grab under the chair, okay, if you're on like a stool or something. And then push your chest forward as you drive your shoulders back. So this is a great chest expansion. And then try lifting your gaze just a little bit higher. Make sure your head doesn't just like bleh, like nod back behind you. You're just creating some space between your chin and your chest. And then nod the chin down. Keep the hands where they are. This is where, at least for my body, I feel it in the back of the neck, kind of between the shoulder blades, giving myself a little shake of the head from yes and no, or looking from right to left can be just an exploration of the movement. So now stack the spine up first. So pull those ribs back, head is over the heart, and then gently let go of one hand and then the other hand. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. You might feel a little tingly, and that's just like, sometimes it can be that like maybe your arm fell asleep for a little bit, and now it's the blood rushing back into the extremities. All right, cool, cool. So as we start to wind up our, oh my gosh, we already have 15 minutes left. This is crazy. So these movements are going to start to get a little bit more complicated. So using the brain, concentrating, focusing, and making sure not to get too frustrated if you get lost along the way. Slow it down and have fun with it. Okay. So first we're going to start with some marching. Your hands can hold or press onto the chair or just stay by your side, whatever feels comfortable for you. So 3 marches each side, trying not to wobble the body. 2. And 1. Now when the right leg lifts back up again, you're going to tap it off to the right side and then back in. 3, left side and back in. Up and over the hurdle. 2. And remember, if you don't have that ability to lift the leg up, just slide it from side to side, but copy what you're doing on one side to the other side. Last one. All right, so now you're going to continue opening that leg out, but reach the left arm out. Then pull it back in. Right arm, left leg away from each other. Pull back in. Think of everything staying in the center line of your body, of the chair. Last one with the right leg, left arm. Last one with the left leg, right arm. All right, now we go up. So punch the left arm up. Right arm is still stepping out wide. Pull it back down. Push the ceiling away. Then pull it back down. 2 more each way. Last one. Each side. All right, now we go across the body. So right leg. Let me think about this. How did I do it before? Oh, it's actually right leg, right arm. So right leg goes out, right arm punches across. pull back in. You come center and punch across with your left arm as the left leg steps out. So it's almost like you're pushing off your right leg to punch the right arm across, and maybe sliding that left leg, if you can't lift it, to punch across. One more each side. Good. Let's do one more for extra credit. Those feel pretty good. Opening up through the hips and just like maybe getting some anger out. Imagine you're punching something. All right. So to open up the front of the hips, we've done a lot of hip stuff here. Obviously, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you're like, no way, Jose, then don't worry about it. You can lean back into your chair. So let's all, I tend to get ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So let's all lean back first into your chair. Your butt is scooched up to the front edge of the chair. And just notice how like that lean back, you can open up through the front of the hips a little bit more. So one leg, stretch it forward and kind of like push your hip up to the ceiling a bit. Okay, so my right leg is long and I'm trying to like, almost like there's a penny in my pocket. I'm trying to put my hand and shove it all the way down into my hip pocket. So like you got to open up that space there. Okay, slide that right leg back in and stretch the left leg long. And really, you're not just laying the leg out in front of you. You are pushing, you are reaching it forward. You're trying to open up that front left hip pocket. There's a penny in that pocket too. Now slide the leg back in and then sit up tall. Okay. So if that one was challenging enough, or maybe you'd got a pretty good connection, you're like, I like that one. I don't want to do this next one. Your hands will be back behind you on the chair, not under it.
We lost sound. We can't hear you. Okay. To hear me now. Give me a thumbs up. Is that better? Sorry again for the technical difficulties. Okay, let's try that again. We're gonna do two more of those hip lifts. If you're there with me. So hands pressing onto the chair, feet are right under the knees, and you're gonna scoop your hips like a snow shovel forward and up, opening the hips, both hip pockets. Okay, reach down, don't literally take your hands away, but as if you're gonna reach down and grab those pennies from your pockets. Come back down, take a big inhale, and then exhale, scoop your tailbone forward and up. And bring it back to the chair. All right. Next. All right. And thank you guys again for letting me know. We lost some of the connection there. Not sure what's going on with my mic. Okay, so we're going to take left ankle over to right thigh. This is a great stretch for the back of your hips. You might be feeling it on that side or back left hip there. But we're still working to strengthen, although we do need to kind of wrap it up here and start to cool down. But you're going to try lifting, like with your arms, that leg off of the right leg. And can you hold that leg there? So this is taking those external rotators and like the strength of your inner thighs to hold that leg, maybe let go of it with one or both hands, and then place it back down. Okay, 3 times here. Lift the leg up, maybe lean back a bit, and then holding that leg. And you might notice like, whoo, that foot just likes to just slingshot away from you. So you have to pull with your hand and then hold it, whoo, with those strong inner thighs, and then lower it back down. Okay, so then maybe on this third one, last time, best time, can you lift that leg up and then put it back down? If you need to continue lifting and lowering with the hands, go for it. Now we're going to take that stretch. So just let your ankle stay onto the thigh and lean your body forward. You can press your elbow into the knee. The more you press, the more you lean, the more the stretch is going to be felt through that outer hip. You could also, if you want to, turn or twist to the left side. I like to grab my right hand to my thigh or knee and kind of help gently pull myself into that stretch. Then go ahead and stack the spine up tall. Left foot comes down, right ankle to that thigh. I'm pretty sore in my legs already, so this is a great, like, just movement, mobility through the hips here. Okay. All right. So if you can, pick up that leg, hold it there. This side is way harder, and then gently place it down. I'm gonna lean forward a bit to get some mobility, and then lean back, lift the leg up with me. And then if I can't hold it in place, no hands or just one hand, and then lower it back down, lean forward, get into that mobility, that flexibility of the hip. Now, last time, I didn't use my hands. So here we go. Let's try it again. And release it back down. Okay, take that stretch. Elbow to knee. Okay. Now, the goal is not, you don't have to get your shin parallel to the ground, but that might get you into a deeper stretch. It might. Okay. Now, you can also reach left hand to right knee, or even just like stretch that arm across the body. If you need something to hold on to, grab the leg instead. But just that gentle turn or twist of sometimes just the head will be like, oh, I feel that stretch a little deeper now. Or the torso, turning your heart to the right side. From there, turn yourself center, stack up, let go of that leg. We're going to step it all the way off to the side. So the corner of my chair is right between my legs. Left leg is off in front, right leg is off to the side. Toes are pulled up towards the nose or towards the face. And then my right hand to the opposite knee. Left arm, gonna reach up and over as if my hand is being pulled or magnetized towards that right foot. Then lift back up. Left hand comes down onto the chair and your right arm reaches up and over. So it's very similar to how we started the class, warming up the spine, but you might notice these stretches can feel a little deeper. So take right hand to left knee, left arm up overhead and over that right leg. Left hand down to the chair, right arm up and over. Final on each side. So when we open the sides of our bodies, okay, these side body stretches, think of your side bodies as like suspenders. So if your suspenders are constantly tight, you're going to be in this position that is not advantageous to breathing, to moving, to honestly even thinking. Because if you're here where you're like flattened, or not flattened, but you're curled in on yourself, think of the less oxygen air that your brain is giving. So if you can sit up tall and stretch the sides, then your brain is going to be able to think and function properly. So now go ahead and switch your left leg over to that left side. Right foot is off in front, toes are pulled up. So your leg is actively, remember your tib anterior is pulling those toes up, actively engaged. Right arm up and over to the left toes. Oh, mama. And then lift back up, right hand to the chair, left arm up and over. Inhale to exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one each way. And final one. Amazing. All right, feet are back to hip distance apart. Okay, so now I want you to start to hinge your body forward and back. You're not coming out of the chair unless you feel called to do so, unless you feel comfortable to do so. Okay, so for now, this is all you're doing. Just hinging back and forth. Your upper body from your head to your hips is like the leaning tower of Pisa. You want to make sure you're straight and that you're not just like curling in on yourself and you're just like lazily going through the motions. Okay, you're not a wet noodle. You're a nice, long, strong human body, capable and willing to do the movement. So notice, we got about 3 more here. Notice as you lean forward, how much heavier your feet feel, how much lighter your butt may feel into that chair. So that maybe in 2 more, you feel comfortable to like lift and hover your butt off the chair. Okay, one more. And you're gonna go right into it. Go for it. We're gonna try that for about 5 to 6. So you can hold your hands out in front of you or have maybe a wall or a chair, another chair or a table out in front of you so that you can just hover those hips and then come back down, because that little like space or that little like boop, that space underneath of your butt, this is where most of us kind of get stuck. If you are able to ambulate or move out of a chair into a standing position, like this is where most of my clients, they're like, ugh, and then they just give up and they come back. So when you work into that sticky spot and you hold yourself strong and sturdy and breathe through it and out of it, then you start to build up strength. One more time. Hold and hover, hover, and then with control, no plopping, back down onto your chair. Yeah. Okay. And then maybe just for one little giggle here, can you hold and then stand all the way up? And then as you go down, try to go slowly back, no plopping, onto your chair. Nice. Yes, very good. All right. Now, right leg out in front of you, straight out in front of you. Keep your hands onto your left thigh and hinge forward over that leg. Both legs, really. But the more you hinge forward, the more behind that back of the right leg will feel. Opening up. And you can like I'm doing here, like kind of just brushing or feeling, where is it? Where does the tension feel? Where it's most, like, where is it talking to you most? Mine is like right behind the belly or like the middle of my hamstring, kind of a little bit between behind the knee. So I'm going to bend my knee a little bit because I don't want it there. And then a little bit, if I pull my toes up, especially into that calf muscle. Okay. So now stack the spine up tall. Let's practice that on the left side. So right foot plants, left foot extends, right or both hands onto that right knee. And the more you pull your toes up to the nose, the more you're going to get a calf stretch. The more you bend and soften the bend of the knee, the less it's going to be behind the knee, because that's where like your tendons and that's not muscle back there. So as you start to lean forward, we want to help to open up the fascial slings here that go up and down the leg. So your posterior chain is like railroad tracks. Okay. And the railroad tracks of your posterior chain, there's many different fascial slings or railroad tracks that kind of move through the body. But this posterior line, it goes all the way, go ahead and look at your toes, underneath of your toes, down the bottom of your foot, up the back of your leg, which is where you're feeling that stretch right now. It goes up the back of your body, all the way to the back of your head, and then it ends right at your eyebrows. Okay, so go ahead and stack your spine up tall. If you have ever had like a tension headache and you understand the difference between like a regular headache, like an aura headache or a migraine versus a tension headache, if you have a tension headache and it feels like there's something like pulling on the front of your eyebrows or your head, stretching the posterior chain can actually help with that. Also, staying hydrated can help with that too. All right, so from there, step your feet back wide again. You'll turn yourself, just like we practiced at the class. So turn to the left, your right knee goes down and your left cheek and leg are resting onto the chair. So you can scoot yourself back so you have more of your leg on that chair. And you're going to not tuck, but untuck that right foot down onto the ground. So the shoelaces of your foot are onto the ground. Now notice how my knee is right under the hip. To get more of a stretch, I'm going to slide it back behind me more until maybe your leg is almost as straight as mine is. Like mine's not completely straight, but I am pushing down, I'm reaching back. Then from there, my right arm is going to lift up. I'm going to reach over to the left side. Then inhale back up. 3 of those. Exhale as you lean to the left. This is helping to stretch out those hip flexors, okay? The front of your hips that we worked at the beginning of the class, and honestly throughout the entire class. Last time to your left. And then as you inhale, stack tall, slide that leg forward until you can turn yourself, whoa, not with the chair though, turn your body to the right side with your left leg down to the ground. Shoelaces to the earth. And if that feels, so you don't have to, but to get a deeper stretch, you're going to slide that leg back behind you. Okay. I'm also going to try to make sure my right foot stays planted. I'm not just on my toes here. Just caught myself doing that. And the left arm lifts up. Now this may be where you stay because you're like, whoo, that feels like a really big stretch right there. But if you want a little bit more, lean your body over to the right and inhale back up. So how does changing the spine position get you into a bigger or a deeper stretch for the leg? How is that possible? Because there are leg muscles called your psoas that are also attached not just to your leg, but they attach and insert at the spine. So that was your last one. Go ahead and lower the hand down, slide your leg forward, and turn back to the front of your chair. So understanding your body, you don't have to have like a full understanding of where the muscles attach and where they insert at and like where the origin is, but understanding that like, ooh, this feels good when I side bend versus twist, or this feels good with my legs stretched out versus bent, is going to help you to get more bang for your buck, more efficiency out of your movements. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class for today. So sorry again for the technical difficulties, but good thing I had another mic on hand. Until next time, you guys, I will see you again. Let's see when the next one was scheduled. Looks like February 19th. So mark your calendars for February 19th for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then go from there if you're in a different part of the country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. I will see you next